Hi guys, today I'll be sharing with you a little secret most wormhole scanners don't want you to know. This is one of the few ways you can actually earn some crazy ISK while scanning for content as a side activity sorta. As you have probably guessed, we'll be discussing a superior data sites, also known as the ghost sites. In wormholes you get the highest quality implant blueprints for ascendancy sets. Obviously the icing on the cake itself is the Omega implant, which usually goes for 5.5 billion on a sell order. Recently the prices have fallen off a bit, it's like 4.9, 5.1 billion right now. Still crazy amount of money. Most people I used to ask about these things that played very long time the game, they said that the data signatures are waste of time, and over the years they have only seen one or two Omega drops. Obviously I kinda didn't believe that, so figured gonna investigate it. Um, Personally, last 12 months, I've gotten at least 10 of the Omega implants, just the Omega implants, ignoring everything else. And my friends, they got at least 10 to 20 of Omegas as well. Quite a few of us are doing now them. Of course, one could argue that the sites are extremely rare and you can't really rely on them as a source of income. I absolutely agree with that, but if you're scanning for content or you're scanning for hacking purposes or whatever your reasons are actually, you may as well just scan the data level 3 sites down and see if you get lucky. So, some statistics about the sites themselves. I got about 150 to 200 billion of ESK from these sites in last 12 months whilst scanning for PvP. Uh, my best months were last year, February was 30 billion at least, March was 25 billion plus, if I recall correctly. I'm pretty sure that was like that. This year so far, for example, in January I got 10 billion ISK, another 6 exploded, happens. So far in February, we are what, like 10 days into the February, 10 billion ISK so far I've gotten from these sites. It's been pretty good, can't complain. I usually find about 10 of these sites a month at average, so it's pretty rare. I checked my main scanner and I've scanned in last 12 months about 18,000 signatures, if you can trust the thingy inside of the game. So you can try to do some math here, see if you can do some math about how much ISK do you get per average sig you scan, or per site, I don't know. About 2 or 3 times only it didn't work out when I was trying to hack a first container because of the time, because the time is different every single time, the hidden timer, and on 2 or 3 times actually the rats spawned before I was done with the container, but there was never anything good in them really, so I never really considered doing something different, change my approach to it or something. The highest drop rate of the Omega implant itself seems to be in superior Guristas and superior Sancho sites. I've recently got two in a superior blood sites, but unless it's usually Guristas or Sanchos, you can relax. You probably won't get anything good anyway out of them. So what you need to know to be prepared for them? So obviously a hacking 5 skill. It takes about 10 days to train, depends on skills and implants or whatever, I don't know what. It's like 10-day train, so obviously get it, like probably one of the best skills to get in game for if you like, if you train skills for to earn some ESK. I've blown 3 of the Omega implants, so in last year, which kinda hurt, was fun. One of these times the hacking was level 3 or 4, so not good. Just just failed it. The other time there was no way I could have hacked it. I used to have a video of it before PC crashed, and there is no way I could have gotten it. I kept replaying the video, and like, just no way. Um, and recently, now in January, I lost another one. I came after a holiday. I was 1 month on a holiday and was like a bit out of sync with the Eve, and the hands were shaking. So yeah, that happened. You probably, yeah, you're gonna see in one of the videos a bit deeper how that looks. So yeah, fit-wise, I ran a standard hacking fit. I guess there is nothing special about it. I'm not really familiar with like how what's the cookie cutter fit sort of for all these things, but you can see what I ran. I don't know, probably there is something better. I just never really bothered to try and figure it out if there is something better, because the success rate is good enough. I'm happy. Um, I suggest running your normal scanning fit and actually bring with you a refit for the hacking and a mobile debug. So that's gonna save you a lot of time going back and forth between your home hole, and depend how many jumps you are down the chain, and just gonna save time and save the how many holes you roll per hour. I guess to decrease the time, like, cause otherwise you're just gonna spend like what 20 minutes or something going back to your home, then get a correct ship, go out again, go back again, then go out, continue scanning or finish scanning or whatever, and like meanwhile you could have rolled like 5 holes already by that time. So yeah, just bring your fit always with you. It's not expensive. It's like 10 mil or something, and probably get a couple like refits because usually it works out good. Uh, so yeah, when you drop a debug, don't do it in a site, obviously, because that's gonna start a timer. So you just drop a debug in a safe, drop some extra stuff there like probes and stuff. So in case you actually your ship explodes, you can get some money back. Um, as in the mechanics themselves about the hidden timer, like I read years ago, that the timer starts when you initiate the warp to the site without the cloak, or you decloak in a site itself. That's what I read years ago. I don't know if it's still true or not, but I always warp to the site when when the ship is visually fully cloaked. That's when you warp, and I decloak as I'm about to land on a site. So yeah, obviously there are hacking implants you can use. I've heard they're extremely good and it's very easy to hack everything, but I've just never used it, never needed. But I've heard really good things about them, so probably you should get them. They're really cheap. I think I looked at them, they're really cheap. Yeah, I've heard about the tanked cruisers, like strats or legions or something, tanking the damage from the blasts, or like 4 Stratius is doing simultaneously, so every strat is doing each container. But to be honest, like most of like half of the time, there is not gonna be even a one container worth hacking. Like, so it's just waste of time. Usually, if you hack, you get one container. Best case and absolutely best case scenario, you get 2 containers, which is like that's it. So I'm never really bothered. Don't see a point of all of that. I've yet to come across 2 Omega drops in one side. Then I will probably change my opinion. Um, So yeah, the game itself, the hacking process is pretty simple. I don't know if it really differs from normal pirate relic or data sites. If you get some experience, you see what I do here. Maybe you see something that's similar, or it's exactly the same, or it's different, or I'm doing something wrong. Let us know. Um, there is 2 things that I notice a pattern sort of with the core, where the core is located. So the first thing is like the the core is not exactly the opposite direction like some of the information online suggests, but it's typically furthest from your starting point. So yeah, and the second one is very risky thing to do, but it usually pays off, is if you are going like, say, I don't know, diagonally for example, and the game is like giving you a hard time and gives you bad nodes, you need to crack them and move on, just stick with it typically, because like typically there are several nodes, at least the bad ones, that are around the core anyway, and typically if you find like a few bad nodes, it sort of indicates that the core probably is gonna be there. Usually works out, a few times it didn't, but usually it does. So yeah, that's kind of most of it. Well, the one thing is a bit funny one is handshakes. So you're gonna get a lot of handshakes if you haven't done this, and it's a bit different than actually you're flying in a PvP with some very expensive ship. Like If you lose a 5 billion ship, it's fine. At least you bought it, you fit it, you understood the pros and cons about it, you had some fun, hopefully PvP'd with it, and eventually it went to the kill board, but you had some fun with it. But in this case, it's a chance that you can earn 5 billion in a 1 minute, and you can do some crazy stuff with that money, which is like, it's a extra money out of blue air. Like, haven't done really anything to earn it, sort of. Just scan some data sites every now and then as you scan the wormholes. Just to put it on a comparison, like I always think, it's like 3 month subscription, or you can train at least a couple Nestor or Rattlesnake alts to start do the C5 farming, or you just need more alts or something. It kind of puts your foot through the door. It helps with developing the characters as well. That extra money, because it sort of comes from like air, and also like if you don't want to do that, like some people, what I've seen they do is they buy some stupid bling fit that, I don't know, for 5 billion, that they usually can't justify spending their ISK on, because like you have to get that ISK somewhere, so typically it's like ratting, so to rat for 5 billion it takes a bit of a time and do something stupid with that money. Most people don't do that. So yeah, if you pay attention to the last two clips, you'll see that my cursor was moving pretty violently, because yeah, I was getting shakes. It's been a while, didn't do them, and yeah, so that was fun. So yeah, but I can guarantee you're gonna have some shakes. So yeah, try it out. If it's your first time hacking these things, let me know. How was it? I'm sure it was very fun time. So yeah, in conclusion, all in all, this is not a consistent way to earn the income, but when you look at the big picture over time, it's kind of rather impressive. Like 200 billion ISK in a year. Like you look back and you think like, wow, 200 billion. If I would have 200 billion right now, what could I do? Like it's crazy. Especially when you combine these ghost sites with other sort of ISK generating activities you find as a wormhole scanner. You get the gang loot from the PvE players you find, or you just turbo bait something out and loot goes to you. You pick the grid clean. Sometimes you find offline towers, you get some dread drops, carrier drops, some extra loot, unanchored citadels, hangar containers, third-party evictions, and it sort of adds up. Um, yeah, I played in the wormholes as a scanner and content generator for many years, 2 or 3 years. I was in a low class, and I found myself always in a pretty poor ISK-wise state. So years ago, the ganking part in wormholes provided you with a lot of loot, and you could inject your characters, do whatever you want. Like there were lots of PvE players in C2, C3, C4, C5. They ran not optimized fits, very expensive fits. Like it provided, like the ganking provided a lot of ISK, but it didn't anymore. After the Abyssal release, it's been pretty quiet. So yeah, so I needed to find an alternative how to earn some more money, because obviously like everybody, not everybody, but most people like would be ratting in their farmhouse or something, while you as a scanner sort of are looking for a content, trying to create content for the guys. So yeah, I had to adapt. So I tried this one out and it's been working fantastic out. Like every time I'm low on ISK or something, like I just happen somehow to find one of these sites and there happens to be Omega. I'm plus 5 bill. Nice, I'm buying more ships. Taking 10 DSTs to the hull, buying more stuff. So it kind of works out. I don't know. Try it yourself. Hopefully it's gonna help you out. Because yeah, most people won't be happy that I know that this video has gone live, but yeah, there goes nothing. And also, like all in all, like if somebody complains that you are scanning a wormhole 1 or 2 minutes longer than you typically do when you like roll or rage roll or whatever, just ignore them. If they want to scan faster, they can go scan themselves. You probably are. If you are the one that is scanning the wormhole, you probably are a lot faster at scanning and better than most of the other people. So yeah, you need your risk as well. So yeah, I hope it helps. Have some fun. That's it. Peace.